Welcome back to second half action here from Harrison High School in Kennesaw. It's the SDH Game of the Week. Pope Greyhounds visiting the Harrison Hoyas. We are scoreless, but John, things opened up in the second part of the first half.
They did, and you also saw each team step it up defensively, too. I mean, there were opportunities for Harrison where it was shots directly on net, and then you would have Ben Youngblood, the keeper for Pope, make a couple of big saves, and anything that was put in front of him, he grabbed and made sure that he had it with both hands. There were a couple of chances. There was one that went over the top. He was off his line a little bit, off of a free kick, made sure to tip it over the bar to make sure that the ball did not go in the back of the net for the first goal of the match. So I think that the keepers, when it was put directly at them, did what they needed to do, and when called upon and they had to bring in a little extra, they did that as well. But the game did get a little stretched in the second 20 minutes, and it'll be interesting what the halftime adjustments are for both of these sides, as Pope, as you're visualizing the match in your mind's eye, will be going from right to left, and they're in their white kits with the blue piping, and Harrison will be going from left to right here in the second 40 minutes in their dark blue kits with green numbers, blue and white socks.
Jason Longshore, John Nelson here with you on the SDH Network. High School Game of the Week, second half action is now underway. 40 more minutes, and we are scoreless between Harrison and Pope. Harrison attacks first down the right side, deep down the right side. Jake Atala cuts it out for Pope. Back to the goalkeeper, Youngblood. Youngblood to midfield, looking for Shane Lazarchak. Lazarchak with a couple of great opportunities late in the first half for the Greyhounds. Hoyas trying to find something on the left side, unable to do so, and it's Lazarchak down the right side for Pope. Back and forth action in the early seconds of the second half. Hoyas go backwards to try to go forwards. Move it over to the right side to DeFrank. His pass is too much for Jenkins. It nearly found Perla. Hoyas recover. Looking down the right side this time. DeFrank heads it back into the middle, but Jake Atala is the only one there. Atala looks for Lazarchak in the middle of the field for Pope. Gets away from him. Harrison skips the midfield and goes all the way to DeFrank. Now they go forward again, and it's Atala who shepherds this out in front of Jenkins. Atala throws back to Becerra. Through to Youngblood, sorry. Atala now in Youngblood, little two-man game. Youngblood dribbles over to the right side of the field. Good ball down the line from the goalkeeper, Youngblood. Lazarchak looks for the through ball. Great intervention there by Bresco for the Hoyas. Greyhounds recover at midfield. Lee recovers it for the Greyhounds. Big switch isn't on. Hoyas now with an opportunity to break. Jenkins. His pass is cut out. And a foul committed by Jenkins.
Once again, Thomas McCurry, the freshman, trying to get ahead of steam in the middle of the field. And nice professional foul there by Jenkins to make sure that Pope rush didn't create anything. And Pope will just have to create out of their middle third now, 2.5 minutes in.
Andrew Lee, Max Barker combined for the Greyhounds. Barker with a nice run forward. He gets in behind. Barker still on it, cutting across from left to right. Keeps it moving to Schreck. Schreck up top, looking for Lazarchak. Gets away from him. Hoyas with an opportunity to build through the midfield. Good combination play, but the run's early and offside again. The back line for Pope, timing their offside trap perfectly tonight.
Atala, the senior. Schreck, the senior. You're looking at Max Barker getting minutes at the back as a senior as well, and Jake Atala directing a little traffic as Youngblood brings it closer so the ball can be started back again by Pope here. But that senior disciplined back line, we've seen it all match long.
Free kick doesn't find anybody. And here come the Hoyas. Atala cleans it up for Pope. Try to play out of the back through Caleb Bruder on the right side. He can't keep possession. Hoyas with a throw 40 yards from goal.
Coming into this particular match, Pope 1-1-1, win over Roswell, lost to Lassiter, and a draw with Grady. And just the one match for Harrison so far this season.
Hoyas driving forward through the middle of the field. Perla drops it back. Shot from distance is wide of the far post.
Evan Bucher from about 22 had an idea, thought that he could hit it flush with his right leg and just ended up hitting it on a straight line, nothing with any kind of action on it. So it ended up going comfortably wide for Ben Youngblood.
Youngblood watched it go wide. He plays the goal kick short to Atala. Atala under some pressure. Lazarchuk checks back to try to win it. He can't. Hoyas combined through the middle. Daniels to Perla. Perla's pass is cut out. Schreck drives forward on the dribble. Schreck's pass is behind Lazarchuk, but Schreck continues forward, nearly wins it back in the attacking half. Ball ends up all the way back with Becerra for Harrison. Becerra picks it up, takes his time, surveys his options. Punt comes a little bit short, but Nick Bucher heads it back. Bresco down the line. Jenkins trying to turn, can't do so. Throw for Pope inside their defensive half.
And we've mentioned the young players that Samir Kada has for Pope. When you have a lot of responsibility for guys like A.J. Daniels and Nick Perla, who've scored 3 of your goals this season, speaks a lot of the confidence that Jonathan Gross has as well.
Right back, Caleb Ruder swings it over to Atala for Pope as they try to push forward. Atala's long through ball attempt just misses Luke Ramala. Good look from Atala trying to find Romalo. It's only Becerra who gets it. Atala commits a foul on the long ball from Becerra. Quick free kick for Harrison. Doesn't come off. It falls to Youngblood.
Thought he saw something with Youngblood off his line, but it was Youngblood easily to his left, the near side, as we're watching here. And as you're visualizing the match in your mind's eye, that easy pickup for Youngblood and starts it all over again for Pope.
Lazarchuk wins the battle in the middle third. Pope regains possession right at midfield. Atala on it now on his left boot. Plays it inside to McCurry. Schreck on it now on the right side for the Greyhounds. Schreck with a long diagonal, looking to the backside for Marcuzzi. Becerra intercepts. Becerra rolls it out short. Here come the Hoyas driving forward, but it's taken away by Lee. Spins away from Lee, a little unlucky there. Great through ball attempt. Here comes Youngblood well off his line. He's able to get there just in front of the onrushing attacker.
Youngblood 35 yards out from net just to make sure that Pope could maintain possession and it wouldn't be a break for Harrison.
Another ball down the right side. Got in behind Atala, but it spins away and over the touchline. Throw for the Greyhounds. It's been rare that Harrison has been able to time their attacks to beat this offside trap, but when they have, it's been Ben Youngblood coming well out of his penalty area to cut things off. Youngblood playing a little bit of that sweeper-keeper. Worked very well for the Greyhounds so far. Harrison in possession at midfield. A.J. Daniels cuts it back. Spun over to the outside right to DeFrank. He can't keep possession. Atala takes it away. His pass is cut out rather easily, but he regains possession and starts to push forward for the Greyhounds. Good ball from Atala this time. Big tackle prevents the break. Max Barker had pushed all the way forward. Big tackle from the Hoyas. They concede the throw.
Nicely done by Michael Bazid that time to make sure that nothing could come on that Pope rush.
Luke Romalo loses it over the touchline. Harrison with the throw. Battle at midfield gets by Lee. And the Hoyas now lose possession, tackled away by Barker. Good ball forward by McCurry. It's just touched away from the run of Lazarchuk. Back to Pope at midfield. They combine to get in behind. McCurry now pushing forward. He cuts it over to Lazarchuk. Great tackle as Lazarchuk was setting up the right-footed shot. Given away. Pope regains possession 40 yards from goal. Over to the right side. Looking for options, Marcuzzi. He keeps it to Caleb Reuter. Right back pushing forward for the Greyhounds. Cuts it in with a left-footed cross. It nearly gets all the way through, but it falls to Becerra.
Deflected off of two Harrison defenders there, but fortunately for Harrison, there wasn't a whole lot of English on it. It took a straight line to Becerra.
Luke Ramallo was waiting on that back post. Jenkins carries it forward deep into Pope territory. Atala has to clear it away. It's a throw 30 yards from goal for Harrison. 10 minutes into the second half. All that action from the end of the first half has continued here in the second. Jake Atala with an interception for Pope, and he carries forward. He keeps going. Ramallo out wide to Lazarchuk, just a little too much. Lazarchuk couldn't get the first touch. Throw for Harrison. The pace of this match has picked up immensely from the first 30 minutes.
Luke Ramallo cutting inside to the middle of the pitch, and then he thought he could spring Lazarchuk there. Too much on it. Goes back to Harrison.
Throw slipped out of the hands, but it was still in play. Daniels got a touch, and it's enough to get Harrison another throw. This time down the line. Lee wins it for the Greyhounds. McCurry cuts it back to Ramallo. Ramallo gets in behind. Ramallo to Lazarchuk. It's cut away. Good team defending from Harrison as they look for a quick counter. Doesn't come off. Schreck wins it at midfield. His pass is a good one to Barker. Barker loses possession. Kolb brings it forward for the Hoyas. Atala wins possession for Pope. Back and forth very, very quickly. Another ball over the top for Harrison. Comes back to Youngblood. Clearance isn't a good one, and Harrison recovers at midfield. Hoya's now sprayed over to the left side. Caleb Reuter wins it. The only junior on this back line for Pope, Caleb Reuter, that time with a big intervention to regain possession. Schreck cuts it inside, a little dangerously, but it falls to Atala. Atala now over the top looking for Marcuzzi. Headed away by Benor. Pope regains possession at midfield. They come back to McCurry. McCurry spins it over to the left side to Atala. Jake Atala walks it forward for the Greyhounds. Little 1-2 with Lee. Back to Atala. Lazarchuk back to Atala. This time he's pressed and goes long. Headed away on the back line for the Hoyas. Battle around midfield. It's a throw for Harrison. They try to go quickly, a little too quickly. Atala wins it with his chest. Settles it down. Ball's over Lazarchuk. And Harrison recovers. Harrison tries the left side this time. Good combination play in the middle third. It creates some space. The Hoyas pushing forward now with some numbers. Looking over the top. This time they do beat the offside trap, but they beat everybody as the long ball goes off the corner flag. It'll be a throw in the corner for the Greyhounds.
Looking for Khalil Frierson there, and Youngblood was there as the mark, making sure that Frierson couldn't get to the ball over in the far corner. Well defended by the keeper, playing outside the box, but here comes Harrison again.
Harrison wins the throw. Combination doesn't come off. Ramallo intervened. Pope tried to break out quickly. Harrison recovered. Hoya's looking for an option. Schreck gets his big chest in the way, and he pushes forward for the Greyhounds.
A lot of space.
Schreck driving forward. Pass is blocked. He nearly got on it again. Game getting exceedingly stretched as we continue scoreless. Through ball attempt for the Hoyas. It doesn't come off. It falls back to Youngblood. His long clearance concedes the throw for Harrison.
You mentioned how stretched the game is, and you see players making runs, but at the same time, players getting back into position to defend to help out the back line has been huge for both sides.
Hoyas try to find some space deep in the left side. Jenkins' pass is cut out and cleared away. It'll be a throw for the Hoyas. About 15 yards from goal. Quick shot right at Youngblood.
from number 7, Brock Jenkins.
Jenkins with that opportunity off the half volley. Struck it well, but it was right at Ben Youngblood.
Looking for goal number 3 on the season. 2 goals and an assist so far for Brock Jenkins. Youngblood had it all the way.
Youngblood's punt goes over the midfield line. Pope looked for the flick on, didn't make contact. It's a throw for Harrison in their own half. Hoya's throw to midfield. Jenkins flicks it along. Lee pops it straight up into the air. Schreck wins the battle. Schreck's got about 6 inches on Perla. He's going to win that header every time at midfield. Hoya's in possession, though. Try to find a combination outlet. Schreck steps up and wins it, and Schreck gets bodied off the ball. Foul called inside Pope's own half, and Schreck is still down.
Schreck, as he was jousting with Brock Jenkins there, took the heavy lick, and he almost bounced off of Brock Jenkins there, and he's been on the turf for a little bit. He's now on his feet.
Jenkins was trying to go chest to chest, but he mistimed it, and the shoulder went into Schreck's chest and knocked the wind out of him. He's walking off, trying to, I think, get his breath back.
Yeah.
Going to have to be substituted out. This is a big loss for Pope, as Matthew Schreck, the senior center back, one of the captains and one of the top players on the pitch tonight, he's going to be replaced by Camilo Montero. And it looks like Andrew Lee, the junior, has been playing in the holding midfield, will drop into the back line at least momentarily.
Yeah, as Schreck left the pitch, Samir Kada, assistant coach Matt Donovan, looked at him, and he said he was okay. Of course, naturally, what else are you going to tell your coaches in a game like this? But shook it off, and he's walking it off right now on the sideline.
Pope trying to create something, but the Hoyas cut it out. Harrison looks for the big switch to the left side to Frierson. It's headed down by Reuter. Nearly picked out Frierson on the second attempt. Reuter pushes forward. It's tackled away from him. Hoyas with good, strong play in the middle third to keep possession. Pass through to Jenkins. Can Jenkins turn on Montero? He keeps it. Ball played through as Jenkins continued his run. Jenkins into the 18. Cross attempted. Lee is able to intervene. Atala clears.
Great work by Andrew Lee, backtracking, turning around, and getting it out of inside the 18.
Hoyas now at midfield. They recover possession. Good spell for the Harrison Hoyas. Chipped into Frierson. He's able to chest it down back to goal. Plays it out to the left side to Jenkins. Tackled away by Reuter. Throw for the Hoyas. Quickly taken to Frierson. Turns to his left, looking for a left-footed cross. Lee with a big tackle. Lee deputizing on the back line as Matthew Schreck is out injured at the moment. Pope at midfield. Tackled away from McCurry, but a foul is called.
Free kick for Pope.
They're going to call Michael Bazit on that, as McCurry was trying to work his way from the far side to the near, had just cleared center circle, bumped off of it by Michael Bazit, and he gets the whistle.
Bazid commits that foul. Free kick for Pope. Taken by Atala, headed away at the top of the 18 by Bazid. Jenkins with a good ball out to Frierson. He cuts inside. Good through ball attempt, but Lee is there again. Harrison testing Lee as he's had to go into the back line. Andrew Lee has been up to the challenge. Long ball attempt from Pope over the top. Doesn't find anybody. Hoyas with another attack. Middle third looking for the through ball. Atala cuts it out. Not sure if anybody would have been home for that one. McCurry tries to play down the line to Ramallo. Nobody there. Becerra with the big clearance for the Hoyas.
Bazid backtracking to make sure that Ramallo couldn't get anything done on the near side to turn it in to get a shot on net.
22 and a half minutes left. Pope will make a quick substitution. It's not Schreck coming back in. He's seated on the bench.
Nick Magalays, the freshman, coming in for Shane Lazarchak, the sophomore. So 14 in, 11 out.
Looks like Marcuzzi slid into that number 9 role, fitting for the number 9 for the Pope Greyhounds. Marcuzzi chases Becerra, forces a wayward clearance. Harrison trying to play out of the back. They're able to find some openings, but it's a little too much on the left side, and they concede a throw in a dangerous position.
You see what Magalhaes is now doing, causing some trouble over on the far side in the attacking third now.
Lazarchuk was very dangerous at the end of the first half. He'll catch his breath while Magalhaes, with fresh legs, creates a little bit of havoc for the Greyhounds. However, it's Harrison who tries to break out in the middle third. They lose possession. Frierson tried to settle a bouncing ball down. Couldn't do so, but he earns a throw for his squad. Hoya's in the middle third. Bazid helps it along. Hoyas can't find the through ball. It's mishit, and Atala goes back to his goalkeeper, Youngblood. Youngblood with a poor ball this time, but Atala wins another header. Falls to Jenkins, 20 yards from goal. Jenkins tackled away from him. Jenkins was looking to load up that right boot. Hoya's in possession again at midfield. Atala steps in strong on Bucher. It goes all the way back to Youngblood.
We mentioned Jeremy Groneveld's name on offense in the first half. Here in the second half, he's getting work done, helping out the back line, working out in the midfield.
That shift with Schreck leaving and Lee going to the back line meant Groneveld went to the holding midfield spot. Pope's defense has remained very strong. They keep the clean sheet, as does Harrison, scoreless midway through the second half. Ramallo tries to combine. Marcuzzi tries to bring it back inside to Magalhaes. Magalhaes on it. Cuts it inside to McCurry or Montero. Montero drives forward. It's out wide to the right for the Greyhounds. Crosses over everybody. It'll be a goal kick for Harrison.
Substitution coming in for Pope. It'll be the first appearance for senior Jacob Goldfine. And Goldfine will come in, and that will mean that temporarily Luke Ramallo will step out.
Goldfine will take up a left wing spot for the Greyhounds in their 4-3-3. Marcuzzi is in the middle spearheading the attack. Hoyas take the goal kick long. Lee wins the header. Falls back to Lee again. He plays it to Groneveld. Greyhounds combining down the left. Falls to Goldfine. But there was a handball instead in front of that. And it's going to be a free kick for the Hoyas.
Halfway home here in the second half. Goalless. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us here for the SDH Network Soccer Down Here Game of the Week. And when the game's over, we'll tell everybody where we're going to appear next. But thanks to everybody here at Harrison for being great hosts and opening up their rolling out the green carpet, I guess you could say, the blue and green.
Andrew Lee with an intervention to cut out a Harrison attack. Tries to spring an attack of his own for the Greyhounds. Unable to do so, but Pope regains possession in the middle third. Groneveld tries to go long. Hoya is able to deal with that. They come back across to Bazid. Michael Bazid steps forward for the Hoyas. Jenkins battling at midfield. He's fouled. Groneveld commits the foul. Quickly taken. Pope is able to spring it forward. Flag does not go up. All the way back to Becerra. Harrison was able to handle that pretty well.
Marcuzzi covering a lot of real estate, trying to get something done here and put another offensive chance, if not a goal on the board, for Pope here as the visitors.
Barker loses possession for the Greyhounds. Here come the Hoyas into the final third. Chips the goalkeeper, but Youngblood's able to step back. DeFrank took a look up and saw Youngblood well off his line, under-hit that chip, and it's easy for Youngblood to take a couple steps back and grab it.
Ball looked like it was floating a little bit. Youngblood had it tracked, and it actually floated back into his line of flight as he would get back in line. So easy pickup for Youngblood after all.
Barker on it for Pope. Right at midfield, it's tackled away from him by Jenkins. Good defensive work by Jenkins. Hoya's trying to find an outlet down the right. DeFrank loses possession. Perla chases, but Youngblood clears it to midfield. Marcuzzi flicks a header on. Bays it under some pressure, goes back to Becerra. End-to-end stuff, but no goals to show for it tonight. 17 minutes left. Pope with a throw on the far side. 35 yards from goal as they step forward, inch forward, get some numbers forward. They throw it in short. Montero with a turn. Montero looking for a left-footed shot. Can't find the space for it. Goldfine, the top of the 18. Over to Montero. Tackled away from him. Off the referee. Pope keeps possession, but the referee stops the play because that would have helped Pope, would have changed the possession. One of the new rules in the laws of the game that the Georgia High School Association has enacted as well. Drop ball to Harrison. They look for an option at midfield, can't find it. It's Atala who is driving forward for the Greyhounds down the left side. Goldfine's in an offside position. Marcuzzi's in an offside position. And Becerra easily gathers it in.
Yeah, Jacob Goldfine for Pope. I think there was a clash of heads there with Nick Perla, so he's been grabbing his head for the last minute or so.
Flicked on. Here come the Hoyas. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Youngblood with the big save. DeFrank didn't want to drive in any further. Took the shot from distance. Youngblood well off his line at the penalty spot with a diving save.
Great work there by Youngblood, keeping an eye on where the ball was going to go and what the movement was going to be. Had it locked in the entire time. Great save on a big chance for Harrison.
First time the offside trap's been beaten to create an opportunity for Harrison. Can they do it again? Big pressure from the Hoyas forces it back to Atala. His clearance is deflected out, so the Hoyas will get a throw.
Substitution coming in for Harrison. Looks like it's the return of Maverick Bridgman, 1 goal on the season, and he is going to replace Khalil Frierson for the time being, as we're now under 15 minutes to go.
Bridgman will go over to the left side. Pope drops the throw back to Atala, all the way back to Youngblood. He's under pressure. He picks out a good ball at midfield. Marcuzzi challenges but can't win it. Jenkins trying to get in behind Lee. Jenkins does get possession, keeps it back to Jenkins. Jenkins looking for the right-footed shot, can't find the space. Hoyas keep possession on the edge of the final third. Now they go back to the middle third. Harrison with a nice spell of possession here. Good work from Jenkins to keep it. Bazid pushes it forward for the Hoyas. Just a little too quick on that flick, and it goes out for a throw. Pope Greyhounds now 30 yards from their own goal. Bazid steps forward, intercepts. Settles it down, spins. DeFrank on it. Combines. It's back to DeFrank on the right side. Chipped into the back post. It's over Youngblood. Nobody home on the back post. Youngblood was scrambling.
Thought about grabbing it, realized it was over his head, backtracked a little bit, and also realized, hey, that's just what I'm staring at. All right.
There was a lot of happy feet moving there. I don't think he decided much. I think he was trying to scramble and open. Nobody was behind him. There wasn't anybody behind him, and it's a goal kick for Pope. Battle in midfield. No foul called. Nearly falls to DeFrank for the Hoyas. Game's getting a little sloppy as it gets late. 13 and a half left. Kolb drives forward, earns a free kick for Harrison.
Foul on Pope.
We mentioned the knock that Jacob Goldfine took a couple minutes ago. He is out, and Luke Romalo is back in.
Let's go Hoyas.
Hoyas with a free kick. Just over 35 yards from goal. Chipped into the penalty spot. Headed on. It's over Youngblood. It's over the crossbar. And it's a goal kick for Pope.
Great idea for Harrison, and unmarked. Just got too much elevation on the header. It was over the crossbar, over the football crossbar. Another great chance for Harrison as we're now under 13 minutes to go. That comes up empty.
Bucher with the header. He timed the run correctly. Kolb with the great delivery. But Bucher can't keep the header under the crossbar. Pope's goal kick is deflected out. Throw in for the Greyhounds at midfield. Barker down the line. It's headed on by Marcuzzi. Romalo chasing. Cleared away. Atala wins the header. Barker heads it straight up. DeFrank wins it. Atala battling, and Atala has to clear it out for a throw.
Throwing for Harrison.
Jenkins pushing forward more for the Hoyas now, causing some problems. Throw into Perla. He goes back to Bazid. Good step from Bazid. Plays it into Jenkins. Jenkins to Perla, who's dropped into a midfield position. Over to the left side. Bresco's pass is deflected. Throw in for the Hoyas at midfield.
Magale's getting in the way there, too.
Flicked on it, falls to Jenkins. Jenkins gets in behind. Jenkins with a shot right at Youngblood.
Shot on goal from Brock Jenkins.
Jenkins with a rip from outside the penalty area. It's right at Youngblood, who's able to parry it down and gather it in easily.
Handful of saves from Youngblood tonight. He's been at the right place most of the time.
Pope battling for it at midfield. They do settle it down, and they have some space as they swing it over to the left. Down the left side now, Ramallo. Ramallo with a cross to the back post. Nobody home. Becerra lets it ride. Goal kick for Harrison.
Yep. Tried to work it to the far post as he was shooting from the near side. Almost looked like it was going to be deflected by a Harrison defender, but it ends up going past everybody over the inline. Goal kick as we're now under 11 minutes.
Ramallo was looking for a run at the back post with that cross. Didn't get it, and it's a goal kick for the Hoyas. Becerra's goal kick is headed on looking for Jenkins. It's behind him. Youngblood just outside of his penalty area plays it along. Hoyas win the header. Harrison inside the attacking half, looking for the through ball. Flag goes up.
Offside. Free kick for Pope.
These two teams met in April of 2019. Last time they met ended up being a 2-2 draw in overtime as a non-region game. Seems to be headed that way tonight.
Take away the attack from Pope. And here come the Hoyas. DeFrank. Inside to Perla. Hoyas keep possession, go back to the middle third. Recycling possession, Jenkins this time. Misses Perla on the pass. Greyhounds try to find a way out through the middle, and they do. Spinning around and keeping it, Tomas McCurry. Ramallo helps him. Ramallo is fouled.
Bazid
commits the foul.
Free kick for Pope.
Ramallo lets this one sit, and it's going to be a long delivery from the Greyhounds. Just over 9 minutes left. Scoreless here in Kennesaw between Harrison and Pope. Jeremy Grunewald will take this free kick. Big targets are up for the Greyhounds. It's a little short, top of the 18, and cleared away. Could be a 2v2 if the Hoyas can find it. They can't. Pope keeps possession. Grunewald chips it along. Back to Grunewald. Good look from him. Finding a soft spot in Harrison's defense. Battle on the touchline. Goes out. It's going to be a throw for the Greyhounds. Montero wins the throw for Pope. And Max Barker will step up to take it.
Yep, he and Charlie Kalb got into it here on the near touch line. The home fans wanted something other than just a throw for Pope.
Barker's throw's a little short. Harrison wins it. Here come the Hoyas looking over the top. Jenkins gets in behind Lee. Lee recovers to stand him up. Jenkins cuts it across. Atala steps in and wins it. Grunewald goes in and wins the header. Harrison tries to find the key pass through the middle, and it's overhit. Youngblood on it inside his 18.
8 minutes to go, and in these situations, if you're Harrison, you're trying to figure out who you can rely on. And this season so far, you've had 8 different goal scorers. One of the sources of pride for Jonathan Gross is that you've had a lot of different guys contribute this season.
They just need one at this point with 7.5 left. Here come the Hoyas, but Grunewald with a big tackle for Pope. Pass from Lee is overhit. It's a throw for the Hoyas right at midfield. Running down the line, looking for Jenkins. Caleb Bruder intercepts. Spin and a foul. Pope will take a free kick just inside their own half.
Free kick for Pope.
Seven minutes left. Still scoreless. Hoyas and Greyhounds. Free kick taken short. Groneveld carries it forward. Looks for Reuter down the right side. It's too much. Throw for the Hoyas. Throw looking for Jenkins. Hoyas battling for it, and Jenkins does get it. Jenkins 1v1 with Atala. Jenkins has got a little bit of help, too. Cuts it back to the right foot. Jenkins step over shot. Right foot blocked by Atala. Great recovery by Jake Atala to shut that attack down. Pope tries to attack down the right side. Pass is over, hit, easily dealt with by the Hoyas defense. They go back to Becerra. Good ball from Becerra. Gets away from the midfield of the Hoyas, and Pope recovers. Montero with a turn. Swings it from right to left for the Greyhounds. Great cut back by McCurry. McCurry's pass is cut out. Hoyas recover possession at midfield. Atala steps up, commits the foul. Free kick for the Hoyas, just inside their own half.
Under 6 minutes to go, but once again, you see the back lines of both of these teams stepping up, and you run out of superlatives at some point. Over the top opportunity here, headed off by Youngblood.
It's a great ball from Bazit. It's just out of the reach of the Harrison front line. Youngblood has come off his line very well all night long. He does it one more time for the Greyhounds. Distribution not the best, and Harrison back on it. Right-sided attack for the Hoyas. Kolb drives forward, tackled away by Grunewald. McCurry tried to beat Bucher. Bucher blocked McCurry's dribble, but gives away the throw.
Romalo trying to get free deep.
5 minutes left. McCurry spinning, cleared away by Kolb. Lee switches the point for Pope over to the right side. Reuter tries to get forward, can't do it. It's tackled away from him, but he gets some help. Greyhounds lose possession at midfield. Here come the Hoyas driving into the final third. Foul called 30 yards from goal. It's going to be a dangerous free kick for Harrison as two players got tangled up.
Free kick awarded.
Looks like Reuter was the one for Pope. Over at the far side, you're looking just outside of 30 yards.
Let's go Hoyas.
Let's see what Harrison has in mind here. Started out as a three-man wall for Pope. It has drifted back to two.
Charlie Kolb over the ball for the Hoyas. Right-footed delivery, bending into the near post. Youngblood gets two hands to it. Youngblood loses it, though. Shot was over the crossbar, but there was an offside anyway.
From number 15, Blake Buffington.
And it's going to be a free kick for Pope. First time Youngblood didn't look composed. Got two hands to push it out. He gets bailed out by the offside call and a shot over the crossbar. Harrison now back in possession in the middle third. Jenkins trying to turn. Lee heads it away from him, and it's a high boot on Jenkins. Free kick for Pope. They take it quickly to McCurry at midfield. McCurry loses it. Jenkins recovers it for the Hoyas. DeFrank down the right side for Harrison. He earns a throw. About 30 yards from goal. DeFrank takes it quickly. Grunewald loses it. Gets pushed in the back. Very confusing situation. I think the initial foul was called on the push in the back on Grunewald, but it continued, and you had a big collision.
You had Perla involved with a push in the back on Jake Atala after the first big hop that the ball took on the turf.
I think the whistle was blown on that hop because there was a push in the back on Grunewald, and half the field kind of stopped. The other half kept continuing. Ref finally gets control of it and gets everybody calmed down. Free kick taken by Youngblood. Pope gives away possession rather quickly. Harrison throw at midfield. Hoyas headed along. Jenkins with a touch inside. Looks to get the return pass. Can't find it. Pope takes it away, but it's back to midfield. Hoyas in possession. DeFrank with a combination. Bucher pushes forward, earns a free kick.
For the Hoyas.
Evan Bucher pushing forward, driving forward, captain of this Hoyas team, trying to make something happen, and he does. A free kick. Kolb has had some great deliveries on these. This one's 40 yards from goal. Last time Youngblood did not look so sure of his hands. It's a high line for Pope. Chipped in behind, right to Youngblood.
That time Youngblood didn't have to go through all of the traffic that was in front of him to try to grab the ball. But, once again, the pressure from Harrison not giving up at 100 seconds.
Youngblood's throw comes up a little short. Kolb won the header, but Pope recovers possession at midfield. It's a 4v3 for the Greyhounds. Down the left side, Ramallo. Ramallo cuts it in with the outside of the right foot. Cross is cleared, and Harrison is able to get their way out of trouble. Great recovery defense by the Hoyas. Leon in possession at midfield for Pope. Just over a minute left.
Reuter at the far.
Reuter down the right side. Cuts in. Left-footed cross. Over hit. Goal kick. Actually, there's a foul called on Reuter as he cut across. It's going to be a free kick for the Hoyas. They play short and back. Less than a minute left. Hoyas under some pressure, playing in their own half. They're able to unlock it. Chipped in behind, onside. Youngblood is able to let it roll back into his 18 and pick it up. Good composure from Ben Youngblood, the goalkeeper for Pope, who's had a great night. He throws it out wide to the left to Barker. Barker looks for Montero. Marcuzzi chases it as well, but the Hoyas deal with it. 30 seconds left. Ball at midfield. Grunewald, his pass is blocked. Perla gives it away. Grunewald pushes forward. Tackled away from him. Now Perla with another opportunity. 4v4 for Harrison. Atala wins the header. Grunewald now. Great work from Grunewald to dribble past one. Montero with 10 seconds left. Chips it in. Marcuzzi chasing. Becerra off his line and gets there first.
And that should do it.
It's back
One
to
more
Grunewald.
shot.
Grunewald doesn't have
too
time to
late.
take the shot as the time expires. Scoreless. Harrison and Pope, all kinds of action here tonight, but no goals to show for it.
No, you had a lot. You had the game stretched,
We have another few excellent
and you had opportunities for both sides, but you really can't say enough about the back lines of both of these teams. The presence for Pope, guys like Andrew Lee, Matthew Schreck when he was involved, Jake Atala all night long, and then the back line for Harrison when Pope would come down and try to have their efforts. It was a great goalless draw.
Except it's not over. You're going to have some bonus soccer now with overtime in a non-region match.
Okay.
Non-region matches sometimes can take on different types of rules here. Sometimes you go straight to penalties. Sometimes you leave it as a draw. We are going to see overtime here. We're waiting on how long the overtime periods are going to be. Referees speaking to both teams' captains right now. Looks like we will get 10 minutes. We'll try to get some clarification and see if it's 2 10-minute halves or if it is a 10-minute overtime period. Both teams discussing it. It's going to be 2 10-minute halves of overtime, and it will be played out to its entirety. For a team like Harrison, who's only had one match this season, this extra 20 minutes might be really beneficial as they try to get into a rhythm in 2020.
True, and at the same time, it will be interesting to see their conditioning now that we're done with 80 minutes and you're heading in your second match of the year for another 20. By the end of the night, you'll have played 100 minutes of the sport, and you get to see where you stand this early in the season, considering after this you've got Roswell and Dalton coming up in very short order.
While the players check their conditioning, we're going to check our conditioning for about a minute, and you're going to get to hear from a couple of our sponsors here on the SDH Network.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolinski of Apolinski & Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
Welcome back to Harrison High School, home of the Hoyas. They're hosting the Pope Greyhounds tonight, and neither team was able to find the back of the net in regulation play. 20 minutes of overtime soccer here on a late February cold night in Kennesaw, Georgia. Jason Longshore, John Nelson here with you on the SDH Network. And, John, we've seen a lot of strong goalkeeper play from both teams tonight.
No doubt Nick Becerra has been there between the sticks for Harrison the entire time, and we've mentioned Ben Youngblood's name making saves, at least carrying on to the second hand as we've been watching the match tonight. There was the one instance late with Youngblood where he had to wade his way through traffic, was unsure about handling the one ball that was put inside the 18. The rest of the night, except for the one instance that was overhead late in the second half, Youngblood very sure of himself and was very aggressive at times when he needed to be, when the trap that was being posed by Pope had a ball over the top, then that forced defenders to retreat, and it forced Youngblood to come out and be aggressive. On the flip side, you have Nick Becerra, who has been just as confident in net on those chances where Pope has had the opportunity to put something on net. Becerra's been there as well. So for both of these keepers, stellar nights across the board, save a mistake here or there.
Harrison comes into this match 0-1 on the season. Pope comes in 1-1, number 10 in the state for 6A. Last year, they made the Final Four, finished 15-4-3, and finished ranked number 3. Harrison, on the boys' side, trying to get back to that kind of level. Last time they won their region was 2017. They reached the state semifinals back in 2016. It's been a good performance from the Hoyas in game number 2, as most of the high schools around Georgia have had to deal with a lot of cancellations this season due to weather. 20 more minutes for the Hoyas to try to put it together. 20 more minutes for the Greyhounds to try to show why they are one of the top teams in the state in 6A. And 20 more minutes for us to talk to you on the SDH Network. We're underway in extra time. Pope in all white moving from left to right. Harrison in all black moving from right to left on your screen that you are listening to us on. Pope in midfield possession. They attack down the left side. Cut it in, but it is over the touchline. It'll be a throw for the Hoyas.
To be clear, soccer fans, there is no golden goal. We're playing the full.
We're getting the explanation from the PA announcer that there's no golden goal, playing the full 20 minutes out. Harrison heads it along, but Pope intercepts. Montero spins it back to Magalhaes. Down the left side. Pulls it back to the right foot. Cross into the top of the 18. It's chested away. Tipped back in, but it's handled by Becerra.
Magalhaes there was looking for Lazarchak. Went through a couple of Harrison players ends up going right into the hands of Nick Becerra.
Frierson chasing for Harrison. Can't get there, and Youngblood now combines with Atala. Big left-footed clearance from Atala. Chested down at midfield. Greyhounds keep possession. Dancing on the touchline, dancing over the touchline. Throw for Harrison. Down the line, touched into Jenkins, but Atala with a clearance. Popped straight up to midfield. Pope comes out of the scrum in possession. Through ball attempt looking for Lazarchuk. Doesn't find him. Jenkins spins away from Lee. Daniels plays it forward for the Hoyas. Backheel attempt is blocked. Magalhaes tries to let it run, but Harrison comes away in possession. A little dicey in the back for the Hoyas, and they give it away. A throw in the attacking half. Magalhaes will look to take it quickly. And it's cut out by the Hoyas. Lazarchuk intercepted for the Greyhounds. Game very sloppy, restarting extra time, and it's a foul called. Free kick for the Hoyas.
Foul called on O'Connor that time as he was trying to regain possession of the ball for Pope.
Harrison with the free kick, driven in. O'Connor with the header. Goes out for a throw for the Hoyas right at midfield. Turn in down the line, intercepted by Reuter. Magalhaes looks for an option, gives it away at midfield. Perla tries to combine with Jenkins. Frierson is the intended target of a pass. It doesn't get to him. Montero spins away for Pope, but he loses possession. Perla now on it. Perla tries to swing it to the far side. It gets through. Hoya's looking for a shot. Atala cleans it up. Pope now with numbers on the left side. Greyhounds driving down the left. It's touched away. Bazid tries to step forward. Montero for Pope intervenes and recovers. But flag goes up offside as a player was coming back from an offside position. Referee spots it now with a little help from our crowd.
6:15 and counting here in the first 10 minutes of overtime before they'll play another 10. Once again, no golden goal here. We're going to play the full 20 and see what happens. Goalless draw to this point. Remember, it was a 2-2 draw when these two went at it last year.
Bazid with the long ball, won by Atala for Pope. Falls back to Perla. Perla's chipped in attempt at a opportunity for Harrison. Doesn't come off. Midfield battle back and forth. Hoyas try to break forward. Magalhaes tries to dig it out for Pope. Falls to the Hoyas. Chipped in looking for Jenkins. Jenkins inside the 18. Juggling. Spinning. Cutting back to the right foot. Can Jenkins find an option? He does. Plays all the way back. Daniels with a good pullback. Harrison keeps possession. Benor. Big switch from him. Headed away. Headed away again by Barker. And McCurry. Marcuzzi now at midfield for Pope. Well defended by the Hoyas. They earn a throw at midfield. Throw does not find a teammate. But Harrison recovers. Good switch to Frierson. Frierson with the first touch in. Shot with the right foot right at Youngblood. Frierson didn't catch it at the top of the 18 cleanly. It's an easy save for Youngblood. Frierson battles back with Lee. Frierson does cause the turnover, and now he pushes forward again. Jenkins in the left corner. Trying to find a crossing attempt. Pulls it to the top of the 18. Bucher keeps it along. Left-footed shot. Might have taken a deflection, but it falls right to Youngblood.
Looked like it might have gotten off Atala there. Goes right to Youngblood after the deflection, so we're back in the middle third.
Marcuzzi with an overhead pass. Pope keeps it. Now it falls back to Marcuzzi. He spins away. Advantage played, and now the foul is brought back. Contact on Marcuzzi. Advantage had been played initially. It didn't amount to anything. Referee calls the foul. 4 minutes left. Pope free kick, about 50 yards from goal on the left side. Instead of going up to look for a header, it's going to be Atala who's going to take this. Harrison playing a line at the top of the 18. Atala's going to try to drop this around the penalty spot. Puts it on the spot. Header on by Lee. It's a good header from Lee. It's over the corner of the goal. It's great service from Atala, and Lee just unable to head that down and keep it under the crossbar.
Wasn't any traffic with Andrew Lee in that particular situation. Substitution, Andrew O'Connor coming off and Jeremy Groneveld coming back on, as well as Tyler Tate getting his first minutes, the senior, and he is replacing Nick Magalhaes.
Outstanding service from Atala. Picked out Lee. Header does not test Becerra. Here comes the Hoyas down the left. Frierson gets in behind Reuter. Frierson slips it to the far post. Shot wide. Frierson keeps it alive. Shot cleared away at the penalty spot. How did that find a Hoya attacker at the back post? Does not find the back of the net. Harrison throw on the near side. Given away quickly, but what an opportunity for the Hoyas that goes begging.
When you had Frierson and his speed unleashed again, it was that first chance, then first opportunity doesn't happen, second chance does, cleared, and now Harrison's back at it at 2:20.
Bazid pushing forward into the attacking half. Harrison looking for an opportunity around the top of the 18. They play it out wide to the right. DeFrank trying to find a cross, tackled away from him by Barker. Great defensive work by Max Barker, the senior left back for the Greyhounds.
Coming into the game for the Hoyas, number 8.
Substitution now
Josh
for
DeFrank.
Harrison. Josh DeFrank comes back in.
Throw for the Hoyas. Atala gets a touch. Cleared away by the Greyhounds. Harrison trying to find fresh legs to get in behind. Frierson's had some joy here on the left side. See if DeFrank can find it on the right side for Harrison. Header away by Montero. Marcuzzi tries to battle in there and get it. He can't. Quick shot attempt is wide. Youngblood was scrambling, couldn't get there. Shot was wide.
From number 15, Blake Buffington.
Great turn by Blake Buffington that time to set up the left and just curls it wide of the far post. Youngblood couldn't get there as we come up to a minute to go in the first 10.
You get late in matches, sometimes it's a half chance that finds the back of the net. Buffington nearly created one there. 50 seconds left. Groneveld wins it for the Greyhounds. No nonsense from Lee as he blasts it out to the right side. It's too much for Marcuzzi. Throw in down the line. Lee wins it. Jenkins fell down. No foul called. Jenkins and Lee wrestling. Ref doesn't call the foul. Lets everything go. Pope looks for the through ball down the left side. Lazarchuk chasing. Doesn't get there, but does force a wayward clearance. Evan Bucher picks up the second ball off of McCurry as the clock ticks under 20 seconds. Jenkins out to DeFrank. Back to Jenkins. DeFrank cuts inside. DeFrank outside of the right foot pass, cut out by Atala. Atala seems to be everywhere defensively tonight. Long shot from Harrison, blocked at the top of the 18. And it's headed down, and there's your whistle for the first half of extra time. We still remain scoreless.
Switch sides and go another 10 minutes.
And the last large defensive effort from Jake Atala for Pope is going to cause the physios to get a little work.
That's a big issue. Atala has had to hold it down in the back after Matthew Schreck was injured earlier. We haven't seen Schreck return. Atala holding his hip.
And then you have the other half of that equation from that collision where they both went down. Josh DeFrank, also for Harrison, is favoring his right leg as well. So
got a lot of minutes played early in the season, and with all the stops and starts this year, it's been hard to keep fitness. It's been hard to build fitness. You're getting late in a match. everything hurts just a little bit more. There's only 10 minutes left. Both teams looking for a win, looking for a goal. It's been a great match between Harrison and Pope, a great defensive match, but both teams have had their share of chances.
They have, and I've been drawn to the defensive efforts that we've seen all night, and just the efforts from the senior backline that we've seen from Pope, and the younger players, the underclassmen that we've seen shine for both teams tonight. I think that both of these coaches and both of these programs, Samir Kadaf for Pope and John Gross for Harrison, have a lot that they can build on from this match, regardless of result. I mean, you've gone 90 minutes, and neither team has given up a goal. You've got a lot of underclassmen who are shining. You've got a lot of senior presence that has done work offensively and defensively. You just haven't had that one opportunity that has gone in the back of the net, where we talked about goalkeeping tonight as another element of all of this process. Every single aspect of the game for both of these teams has been on display tonight, and there's a lot to build on as we get ready for the second 10 minutes, and where you'll have Harrison, as you're visualizing the game, they'll be going from left to right here in the second 10, heading toward Nick Youngblood, who is checking the net on the right-hand side, and Pope will be going from right down to our left.
10 more minutes. Get to 100 minutes played between Pope and Harrison tonight. Will we have a goal to separate them? Hoya's in possession off the kickoff over to the left side. Pope takes it away, but their clearance only finds a Harrison midfielder. Here come the Hoyas down the left. Offside flag goes up. First time we've seen that in a little while, as the Pope back line has held that offside line. That offside trap has been very effective for the Greyhounds tonight. Max Barker tries to dribble out of trouble. It's tackled away, but Atala cleans it up. Midfield scrap for it. It falls to Barker. His chipped-in pass is cut out by Daniels. Jenkins heads it along. Atala chests it down, plays it out wide to the left. Tyler Tate can't keep possession at midfield. Throw for the Hoyas. Kolb throws it in. Jenkins loses it to Lee. Pearson cuts in across the formation. Keeps possession. Daniels back to Frierson. Keeps it moving. Perla. Daniels. Jenkins. Spins back. He wants to load up on that right foot. Can't find it. Out wide to Kolb. Harrison still in possession. Good ball from Kolb into Jenkins. Jenkins bundled over, and he earns a free kick in a very dangerous location, 25 yards from goal.
And we're seeing Frierson in the previous 10 minutes and in the minute and a half that we've played here, we've seen him work more centrally.
You're just trying to find the ball at this point. If you're Frierson, you're a game-changing kind of player with your speed. You're just trying to find it. Shape, tactics, all these things are out the door right now with 8 minutes left. Kolb with the free kick, chips it into the back post, headed on and under the bar. Goal for the Hoyas. What a delivery from Kolb. Harrison with the breakthrough.
Second assist on the year for Charlie Kolb. And 2 minutes and 4 seconds into the second frame, we've got our first goal of the match. Josh DeFrank with the goal, gets the credit. Great service from Kalb into the net from DeFrank, and it's 1-0 Hoyas.
DeFrank on the back post. Perfect delivery from Charlie Kalb. DeFrank just has to redirect it. There's nothing Youngblood can do, and now the Greyhounds have to open up and try to find an equalizer. 7:55 left.
Substitutions for Pope quickly. Montero is out. Tyler Tate is out. And Magalhaes is back in for Pope.
Greyhounds swing it from right to left. Down the line, Ramallo. Cleared away by the Hoyas. Jenkins heads it back into the middle. It's headed right back to Jenkins. Jenkins shielding off Groneveld. Jenkins has battled in the midfield tonight. Loses it over the touchline for a throw. Barker commits a foul throw. That's going to be a throw for Harrison. Barker did not bring that back over his head. An illegal throw as he tried to get it back in too quickly. Harrison will get to run a little bit of clock. Charlie Kalb will take this throw 30 yards from goal. Flicked back to him. He's able to spin around Magalis, but he loses possession in the middle of the field. Ramallo, boxed in by 3 defenders, plays it off of 1 to earn a throw. Barker to take this one. Proper technique down the line this time around. Lazarchuk cuts inside to the middle. Tackled away from him. Cleared long. No nonsense from the Hoyas now with the 1-goal lead. Youngblood plays it long to midfield to Marcuzzi. Marcuzzi trying to fight through Hoya defenders. Can't do so. Goes all the way back to Becerra. Becerra to midfield. Grunewald cuts it away. Magalis loses it at midfield. Through ball looking for Fearson down the left. Youngblood outside of his area to cut it off. Picked out Lazarchuk too, but the header could not find a teammate. Hoyas, Jenkins in possession. Plays it back to midfield. Now the Hoyas try to slow things down just a little bit. 5.5 left. Harrison leads 1-0 on the goal from DeFrank. Pope recovers possession at midfield. Wrestling match goes the way of the Hoyas. Free kick.
Groneveld was a part of that. Both players, the one for Harrison and Groneveld for Pope, each had a handful, but the whistle goes against Groneveld, and it'll go back to Harrison as we're coming up on 5 minutes to go.
Harrison goes long, headed down the line looking for Jenkins as he was chasing. Harrison keeps possession. And they earn a throw. Good work by the Hoyas. Less than 5. Kalb with the throw. Jenkins able to shield a player off. Shot near post, off the post. Youngblood made a save. It went off the post. Amazing save from Ben Youngblood. Jenkins nearly beat him at the near post.
Then the second chance goes off of Reuter as well. Heads out to middle third. Here comes Harrison again.
Kalb with the cross. Just right back to the top of the 18. Perla spins. Shot with the right foot. Beats Youngblood. Perla puts the game away. Hoyas lead 2-0.
5:34 in, the spin and the big right gets it past Youngblood. Great effort tonight from Ben Youngblood between the sticks, but that one you couldn't do a whole lot about. Rocket in the back of the net. 2-0 here in the second 10.
Sustained pressure in this final 10 minutes of overtime by the Harrison Hoyas. They have 2 goals to show for it. Amazing work as they've grown into this match. Only their second of the season. Nick Perla with the second goal. Joshua DeFrank opened the scoring a few minutes ago. And the Hoyas look to be cruising now after a long 90-plus minutes to get here. The Hoyas look to be cruising along to their first win of the season.
Over the touchline, it'll be a throw as we come up on 4 minutes.
Pope takes the throw, plays it back to Atala. Max Barker. Given away. But it deflects off of a Hoyas defender, Charlie Kalb, and it's a throw for Pope. Cleared away. It'll be another throw for Pope just inside the attacking half.
I think you're going to be saying that phrase a lot for the final 3:40.
Luke Ramallo tries to take advantage of some yardage. Isn't allowed to do so. 3.5 minutes left. Lazarchuk back to Ramallo. Kalb intervenes. Bucher dribbles forward. It's behind Jenkins. Barker intercepts. Lee pushes forward for Pope. Luke Ramallo out on the left. Chips it in too far. Easy for Nick Becerra.
I think he was looking for Lazarchuk there, just too much on it.
Becerra will take as much time as allowed. He punts it to midfield. Lee heads it back to Barker. Barker heads it across into trouble. Reuter is there first in front of Fearson. He blasts it long, looking for Groneveld, but he can't settle it.
Substitutions now for Harrison. You're the older brother of Michael Bazid. Christian, number 23, will check in for Harrison. And also Reeves Bucher, the freshman, the younger brother of Captain Evan Bucher, the junior, checks in.
Harrison shields it at midfield. 2.5 minutes left. Youngblood well out of his 18 because he's stuck here. Trying to keep the play moving, trying to create something. It's a throw for Pope. It's good work from Youngblood. He is a fearless goalkeeper. Clearance whiffed on by Lee. Falls to Jenkins. Jenkins out wide to Bucher. Chipped in by Kaub. Great ball from Kaub. Atala back to Youngblood. Youngblood mishits it. Youngblood does save it. No, he doesn't. It's going to be a corner kick for the Hoyas. Less than 2 minutes left. The wheels have come off for the Greyhounds.
But Harrison going to take their time walking over to the far corner flag. Reeves Bucher helping out as the safety valve.
They'll take this short. No worry about a safety valve here. You're just trying to run clock. Actually, they do play it into the 18. Gets by Youngblood. Bazid chasing. Collision in the corner. It's going to be another corner for Harrison.
Looks like it. Last touch by Caleb Reuter is what they're going to say. So now you're going to have your corner on the near side. Reeves Bucher available if you want to play it short again. See what the idea is here as we're now at a minute.
Played into the 18, headed away at the near post. Pope can't get out of their own half. Atala clears it. Harrison still on it. Good work by the Hoyas to see this one out. Had to fight for it. Had to work for it tonight. But Joshua DeFrank and Nick Perla are your goal scorers in the second half of overtime. Atala late on a challenge. Advantage played. DeFrank and Perla have given the Hoyas this 2-goal advantage. Greyhounds bomb it long, nearly get in behind. But well dealt with by the Hoyas. As the Greyhounds try to bounce back from this, what do they have coming up in the next few days?
It is at Sprayberry on the 25th if you're Pope, and then you start region play at Northview on the 28th. March the 3rd, you are at North Atlanta. Then after that, you are at Academic Magnet in North Charleston, South Carolina.
Harrison Hoyas win tonight 2-0 at home. It's a clean sweep for the boys and the girls here for the Hoyas. DeFrank and Perla are your goal scorers in this one. What's coming up next for the Hoyas?
At Sprayberry on March 3rd, but before that, it is Dalton on February 28th here at Cobley Stadium and Roswell on the 25th here at Cobley as well.
That Harrison-Dalton match will be one of the better ones in the state this year. Really looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. We'll be back with you for our next SDH game of the week. Not next week, but
March the 3rd. Parkview and Roswell from Ray Manus Stadium on the campus of Roswell High School. Looking forward to that one.
And we'll be back with soccer down here on Monday, 9 a.m. We'll be getting you set for Atlanta United and Motagua of Honduras, second leg of the CONCACAF Champions League. And you can come join us for the first edition of the run-up on Monday night at the Brewhouse Cafe in Atlanta's Little 5 Points as we get deeper into that preview of Atlanta and Motagua. Thanks, everybody, for spending your evening with us on a Friday night, a cold Friday night in Kennesaw, Georgia. Harrison Hoyas are your victors 2-0 over the Pope Greyhounds. For John Nelson, I am Jason Longshore. Have a good night, everybody.